Chris Byrd, Montell Griffin. Say hi to each other, man. Welcome.
Chris Byrd! Montell, what's up? What up, boy? What up, champ?
Roommates.
Man, just chilling. Man, I'm just sitting here watching my Spurs go to work. They're going to work, too. This is a team they don't talk about.
You ain't talking basketball.
People don't understand. This is fundamental. This is the way the game's supposed to be played. No tattoos, no earrings, no braids, no cursing, no fighting. They just playing ball, team ball. Playing ball, straight up hooping. They balling. Byrd, what's up with you, man? Oh, nothing, man. Just following my son, man, playing AAU basketball. Okay, yeah, my daughter playing. Oh, yeah? It's a shame. I gotta tell people my daughter better than I ever been. Yeah. She's starting a varsity as a sophomore. Basketball is my favorite sport, and my daughter better than me. No, that's crazy. Well, you know my sister was. Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah. Yeah, and she's still balling. I forgot about Lauren. Oh, she's still balling? Yeah, she coaches a team out here in San Diego now. And she's still balling every day. Yeah,
how long was she a pro, Chris?
What's that?
How long was your sister a pro for? 17
years.
Wow.
Everywhere. Yeah. She played in the first women's pro league in Chicago.
Yeah.
In fact, she played in the Chicago team, back in like 82, 83. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Paul Bates still out there? Yeah, I talk to Paul all the time. Man, tell Paul to get with me, man, so I get the pain, man. I know. He's going to send me a picture of it, and then I ain't hear from him no more. He just teasing me. I'll send him my address and everything. All right. What's up with P-Byrd? He cool? Yeah, he doing all right. He just hanging in Birkin, in Michigan. Oh, you stay out there, okay. Yeah, he's still there. What about my man Ronnie Byrd? Man, Ronnie, Ronnie been messed up for a long time. Yeah. He live off the, like the state, the government. He can never work again. But he but he's kicking it, think he's still playing. He didn't right line all the way, but he's still doing it. He keep his confidence up with his haircut. Oh, you see him? I'm going to go get my haircut so I can get my confidence up. Yo, he got to keep his confidence up. What's up with Tim Littles? I ain't heard nothing from him. Oh, man, he's just trying to... I talk to him probably like once a month, every couple months. Yeah, he's doing all right. He worked for like a wireless system in Michigan, trying to get some boxing going, like gym. He's doing all right, man. Yeah, I'm in the process. I'm trying to get a gym open up here, out here. I know, and all of us try to get a gym. I'm thinking the same thing. If I get a gym, I'm having a major camp. I gotta have a gym.
Imagine if you guys
you grew up living in the gym your whole life. You gotta have one. That's all we know.
You guys need to hook up, man. Super team. That'd be a super team.
I wish we could have a reunion. For everybody to get together and hang out. This is 20 years since our Olympics. 20 years. That's crazy. It seems like it was yesterday. 20 years. I'm telling you, remember everything.
Let's talk about your roommate days. What was Chris like to live with, Montell?
Well, you gotta put yourself in my shoes. I only boxed for 1 year, so all these guys were superstars. I looked up to all of them. I kept up with all of them. So just to get a chance to meet them, it just was awesome. Chris, you know what I'm saying? Chris, I tell Chris this story. We fight at the U.S. Championships, and his family and everything, Pat and everybody, they was sitting. I sit right next to them to be close to them, and I just be staring at him the whole time. And he ain't noticed what I was like, man, I was just staring at y'all. Cause I was like, you was Chris Byrd. I mean, the funny thing about it though, when I first got on the scene, I went to the Sports Fest. It was in L.A. in '91, and I was coming from 210, so I knew I was gonna make 165. So I went straight to the fight to look at Chris Byrd. I just knew I was gonna make middleweight. I was gonna fight Chris Byrd. I ain't even watched John Ruiz. I mean, I watched John Ruiz in trap when we fought Denard trap for the championship, but I paid more attention to Chris Byrd. So when I didn't make light heavyweight, then I was okay. I could be friends with this guy. I can't make light heavyweight. and then Chris and his whole family just opened up their whole family to me. Everybody, his mother, his father, his brothers, his sisters, they treated me like they knew me for 20 years. Yeah. It was just a great experience.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was great. And the thing about Montell, y'all went to training camp. You went to training camp with what? My father was a coach at Patrick. Didn't you? After U.S. Championship?
No, that's when they played me. They played me. I flew went to Florida with y'all.
Yeah.
See, if I would have fought Twister Mine in Florida, then USA would have got behind me because I'd have beat him in Florida. Yep. Then they'd be like, okay, this kid really is the man. They sent the two guys who I beat. I beat John Ruiz. I beat Denard Trap. They sent them to Florida.
And they sent John, because John fought Twister Mine with us.
Right, then John beat him.
Yeah,
John beat him, so they got behind John. But then Jeremy, the best thing that ever happened in the trials was Jeremy and John fought each other the first night. So it got one of them out the way. It would have been too hard for me to beat both of them.
No, but you'd have beat
so,
them.
I mean, well, I at the time, because remember in the trials, when I beat Jeremy in the championship, they robbed me. So I really didn't know what was going to happen. I just was lucky enough. The best thing that ever happened to me was my sponsor was a lawyer. He got me back into the Olympics. If I didn't have my sponsor, I wouldn't have made the team.
Nope.
I would have been out.
Yeah. They had big opportunity to go. So
Jeremy, was great. Probably one of the great amateurs ever. They put all that money in him. He had been around, so shit. Why wouldn't they? Want to ride with him? But I just was a kid that just came out of nowhere and haunted that man's dreams. I know he hate me. He hated that I came out of nowhere and beat him. I know that's his dream. That's kid's dream.
But the thing I knowing about you was when y'all went to camp, and when Patrick and my father came back, my father loved a short heavyweight, but you was short light heavyweight. He was like, man, there's a kid there, Chris. And now this is my father telling me, you can't hit him with a handful of BBs. I'm thinking, ain't nobody slicker than me. I already know that. Ain't nobody slicker than me. And so Patrick confirmed it. He was like, I'm telling you, Chris, dude, sorry. I was that little cat that won at light heavyweight.
hey, Chris Curley. Not Chris Byrd, but Chris Curley. Me and Chris Byrd, when we got in the ring to spar, the whole gym would stop. De La Hoya, Vernon Ford, Larry Donald, everybody stopped to come watch us. Everybody they was like, man, that's the greatest pure piece of boxing we've ever seen in our life. Ever. And I was like, what? Because I'm in shock, because I'm not used to, because I was on the scene, from 88 up until 92, every year at camps and doing stuff. Ain't nobody been slicker than me. No, I clown all these guys. Spar, they hate sparring with me. And then I get in the ring with somebody like Montell. And I'm missing. I'm like, dang, I know how it feels to fight me. It was so hard. I mean, it was crazy, but it was great with a different style that I had never seen before, and trying to work with it is very frustrating. I gave so much props to Montell, and in his career as a professional, nothing surprised me. Nothing. Roy Jones fight, they can say whatever. Well, Roy was winning this. No, Roy was frustrated. Because I know that because I was frustrated with it. Fight James Toney, that didn't surprise you. Surprised me, him beating James Toney not once but twice. Like, come on, man. That's Hall of Fame status right there. You beat James Toney twice and Roy Jones.
Now, how'd you feel when Montell? I'm sorry, Montell. Go on.
I'm saying don't get no respect for it.
Yeah.
I never got no respect for nothing my whole career. I made the Olympic team with 30 fights. I never got no respect for it.
None.
I had 30 fights. Everybody had two or 300 fights. I had 30 fights.
Yeah. So you guys have that in common too, man. I mean, you guys fought for respect, even though you should have just easily got it. You know, both of you had that.
Right. I mean, Chris Byrd was around since '88. Don't get me wrong. Oscar De La Hoya, Eric Griffin, Jeremy Williams was great fighters, but this man dominated. He dominated a division better than any fighter in history.
Mm-hmm.
I used to tease him. I said, "How do it feel knowing you already on the team?" And he just laughed like, "Yeah, whatever." I said, "Dude, after you beat everybody 10 times."
You remember, we used to sit up at me, you, and Patrick at night. We were training for the Olympic trials, and we talking about, you know, you gonna make the Olympics today. I'll never forget, because Patrick was the one that was always, man, y'all gonna make it, man.
Yeah, thanks, y'all.
Gonna make it. And you used to dog him up. Man, never said we ain't training for no reason. We gonna get.
Right, I don't know what you talking about. I'm like, shit, you just as good as everybody else. I'm like, you ain't good. You ain't Pepe Riley and them ain't better than you. Jesse Racine and all them cats ain't better than you. But I just knew I had confidence, but I know I had hard road. I mean, besides, 139-pound division was one of the greatest weight classes ever in history.
Ever, look, all four of them.
With Vernon Ford, Shane Mosley, Stevie Johnson, Teron Millett, and all other guys. That was one of the greatest weight classes in history. And I ain't gonna say in history, but I'm gonna say my weight class is the second greatest, because I had Jeremy Williams, John Ruiz, and Terry McGroom. So, I had confidence in myself, but
yeah,
I just knew, I'm telling Chris, I said, where I came from, I said, Chris, I said, you automatically on the team. So all you got to do is just fight normal and you on the team. He's like, nah. But he never got overconfident. He was like, nah, them guys coming after me. They come after me, but he's smiling though while he's saying it. He said, nah, they going to come after me. It's going to be hard, but he's smiling. But I was like, man, I ain't giving up. I'm coming after you cats.
How do you think the 92 team compares to the 88 and the 76 and the 84? Where do you think
we'll never get the respect. We'll never get the respect because of the... Go ahead. Chris, you go first.
Well, my thing is no disrespect, but to 84, 88, great team. And I'm not going off professional champions. But when you look at medals, come on, man, they won the full Olympics. It's got to be 76, 92 in comparison. Who the best out of those two? Then we why? Because 84 and 88 didn't fight nobody. Yeah, if you got Russia and Cuba there, you don't have an Olympics. Right. That's in my
Russia, Cuba, or Germany. Russia, Cuba, or Germany wasn't there.
Or Germany. My fault. That's the strongest nations.
And another thing, Donnell Nicholson supposed to be one of the greatest fighters in history for beating Felix Savon that got robbed. That changed his whole career. He wins that fight, he's a superstar.
Yep.
It was the first. That was the first fight American fought a Cuban since '76, and he beat the man 2 out of 3 rounds. You tell me, how do you lose a fight and you lose 1 round?
Regular judging, back when. Biggest upset in history. Look,
right in history.
Changing your whole life as a pro.
His whole life.
Same with Eric Griffin. Same with Eric Griffin. He came out for Michael Carbajal first fight, $1 million. There he had scheduled.
Yeah.
Wow.
And on our team, personally, the greatest amateur to ever fight, but not win a medal, Eric Griffin. When you go to amateur, he won everything. Eric Griffin was like king.
Dominated for 4 years.
We had a great team. We don't get no props for it, but really, we have 5 of us won titles. Really 6.
Nah. Six world titles. Supposed to be 7. Sergio's supposed to be 7.
Yeah, Sergio. My fault. It was 6 or 1 titles, and really would have been 7. I mean, from a team that got dogged out after the Olympics because we only won 3 medals, but they didn't look how we had the first Olympics that had computer scoring, which was jacked up. Because one day, the African judges didn't even push the button for nobody. Right. So that messes up. And with us boxing, American fighters, we didn't get our just due. I mean, you look at Dom gold medals, and Montell definitely beat Torres and mine.
Stole my gold medal.
Who won a gold medal? We had medals lined up. I'm like, come on. And we getting wiped out because of the stupid computer scoring system. So,
How's that feel?
and we never got the props. And I'll never forget, on the front of one of the back, a boxing magazine, it said a bombing in Barcelona.
Yeah.
I mean, we got dogged out every article and every boxer outside of Oscar. Because I won silver, but still, you know, he won, but he lost. He's not really a pro material and all this stuff. I'm like, come on, man. We got a great team, but we'll never get the props for it.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do you think? You'd be like number 2 all time? Behind 76?
Hey, I look like this. We're number 1. I'm not disrespecting nobody. I don't care about fame as professional. I match our guys with every one.
Yeah.
And let's go through it. Who gonna win at this weight class? This way, who gonna beat him?
Yeah.
Hey, and every you know class they'll say we number 1.
Yeah.
You know, 84 like the other knows we won. You know, 88 we had a lot of great stars, and definitely 76 gonna say the same thing. So, you know, hey, compare us with any of us and match us up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how you gotta do it.
It's unarguable, man. Talented team. What do you guys remember about Tim Austin?
Oh,
My man. Little Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
Little Tommy Hearns.
and Timmy Austin can crack.
Now, let me say this. Chris Curley, let me say this. Now Chris Byrd just said that one of the greatest amateurs ever not to win the gold medal was Eric Griffin, right?
Yeah.
Timmy Austin played with him like he was his little boy. He played with him.
How
When
crazy?
they sparred, they couldn't let him spar because he played with him.
Eric Griffin couldn't move up to 112.
Right, 'cause he couldn't beat Timmy.
Because he go out there and Timmy literally would toy with him. And we talking about
Little Tommy Hearns.
in a smaller weight class.
Yeah.
And Timmy Austin, he punched so hard, and always been like that. Just like he said, little Tommy Hearns. Well, left-handed Tommy Hearns, long.
Left hand Tommy Hearns. You never seen a kid 112 pounds knocking people out.
Yeah.
I mean, cold.
His body type too, just like Tommy. Just like Tommy. Yeah. Just like Junior Jones too. They got that same type of build.
Yeah. Yeah, Junior was nice.
How'd you guys feel? Because he was always kind of didn't get the respect he deserved either. That whole team.
He was real quiet. The man was world champ for 5 years.
Yeah.
Look,
5 years and never got no respect.
dominated. Just
Do you-
under the wrong system. Promoter where he could have breakout fights and match with the best in that, when he was dominating. Because he lost to Rafael Marquez in a great fight. That's he lost his title.
Great fight.
And Timmy was cutting that weight, and it was killing him. Because I was with him the day before and the day of when he lost his belt, and that weight was getting to him. And, he was planning on moving up basically after that fight, but, just got beat that fight, lost his title. But I think one of the greatest, man, that never got no publicity. None.
Yeah, definitely.
Chris, let me ask you this. Chris Byrd, like I said, you was around for 4 years. I wasn't. I came out of nowhere. Out of them 12 fighters, who was actually the greatest amateur out of all of them? Who you think? You think it was Oscar, or who you think was the greatest fighter out of all of them?
Greatest.
Out of the 12 on 92 team, who was the greatest fighter?
Eric Griffin.
Oh, you say Eric, okay.
You talking about amateur fighters?
Yeah, So you say Eric, you say Eric over Oscar?
Oh, by far. Oscar knows. It's like I'm gonna go biblical. He couldn't tie Eric Griffin's shoelace. Dude won everything. We already knew we had gold medal as soon as we come. We know we got one gold. He can't be there.
Right.
Eric is the best.
Who do you think, Montell?
Shit. See, I saw something people didn't see. Oscar De La Hoya got all the pub, but I saw Vernon Forrest beat his ass. I seen him play with Oscar De La Hoya. Played with him. I gotta say, I gotta say, okay, I didn't really see Eric Griffin that much. I didn't see him fight that much, but I heard about him. But so you got, it's so hard. You got Eric Griffin, you got Timmy Austin, you got Chris Byrd, you got Vernon Forrest, you got Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just greatness on top of greatness.
Now, how do you explain the dramatic fall off after '92? How come there was never a team that could even come close to being that good again?
I mean, '96 did real good. I mean, they got $5. Yeah.
Yeah, they was good.
They got one gold and like one gold, one silver, and like 5 bronze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they did pretty good.
They were good. They were
Yeah,
good.
they did good. They did good as pros too.
Yeah.
I mean, they were.
Yeah, '96 was good. Good team.
Yeah,
I mean, after '96 it was over.
Yeah, after '96,
'96 was the last good team.
I apologize.
Yeah, 'cause you got Floyd, you got Vargas, David Reed was so tight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, it is coming up, and he was tight. So you had some, really good.
Oh yeah,
solid
they
guys.
had a good
You
team.
had your boy from Chicago, David Diaz.
Diaz, Tarver. I think we got 6 world champs. I think they only got 5. They never caught it. I think they only got 5.
Mm.
Yeah, but they're a nice team.
Yeah. Well, what do you think happened after '96 though?
I just think kids not boxing like they used to when we was kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Gym's not full of gym like
like
back
a
in
real
the
gym.
70s, 80s. The gym was just packed full of kids fighting.
It's totally different. You go to a tournament or a boxing show, it's like, especially tournaments, it's like I go to the AAU basketball. It's kids everywhere. That's how boxing was. You got kids
That's how boxing used
everywhere.
to be.
And you fight, and it was shows every weekend. Someone put on a show, and that's why we had so many fights.
Right, you got to think at the Golden Gloves. When I was 10 years old, the Golden Gloves, it would be 100 fights in one night. And nowadays it might be 17, 12.
Yeah.
Used to be 100 fights. The fight was over 3, 4 in the morning. Started at 10 o'clock when I was a kid watching all these. Oh, remember Orlando Johnson, Al Evans, all them guys, man, Leroy Murphy, watching all them cats.
I grew up in that era, watching my brothers fight, knowing all those guys he talking about. But I grew up in the era where you fought 3 times in a day. Then then they cut all that out. I mean, you had to keep fighting. The
most ever fought was only twice.
I mean, they had. I was like, man, you just keep because you have so many in your weight class. But see, with the boxing and you hanging around, see, me and Montell, we hung around boxing our whole life. You around the game, you develop. Love you around the game, you develop, and you boxing a lot. You develop your skill and staying with it. You develop a skill set that never leaves. Like Montell took time off, came back, still had that skill set. No way in heck you're going to come back in that short amount of time, make the Olympic team. But when you look at his skill set, you're like, what? That people really, me and Montell, really, we fought alike, but we were different. If I made you miss, I lean over the back. It's like clearly. Montell could make a little adjustment, just a little move, and make you miss. You swing again, he just dip a little bit more. I'm like, you can't hit this dude with nothing. I mean, it was so sneaky and so difficult. It's even hard for me to explain his skill set and what he had. I mean, only people I can tell you is a guy like Roy Jones now would tell you the honest truth. When we're boxing, you fight against somebody, I can tell you the truth. Like, dude, all right. I mean, he beat me, but he really did beat me. He gave it to him. But James Toney, you ask him now, he's like, that's the most difficult dude I ever got in the ring, ever. From sparring to fighting that I ever
Who said that?
in front of him.
Who said that?
I know he is saying that. James Toney.
Yeah.
I know that.
If he's being
For
honest.
sure, because when you talk about James, when you talk to him for real, it's like, man, that's just mad respect. That's among boxers, though. Now, you get in front of the media, you talk to it in the interview, yeah, he all right, he can fight a little bit. But now you talk to a fighter, it's totally different. Like, dude, don't fight him. And that, I'm real like that, too. I'm like, if you won't fight him,
Remember I told you about friends?
Look, I tell everybody about that. You told me about friends. I didn't even watch much tape. I'm like, friends, He like, man, I see that mother knock this dude out in the gym. I'm like, he don't punch like that.
He was like, Nate Jones, knock Nate Jones out.
Knock Nate out. Look, he got. You told me about that. I sparred with Nate. Me and Nate went at it. We was going at it in the gym, talking, clowning, having fun. He knocked Nate out. And this is before, he told me this before I fought him. Taking friends for granted. But in boxing,
look, he hit Nate Jones with a left hook on top of the head. And Nate Jones was gone for like 2 hours. I mean, they finished sparring. He was out for 2 hours. He came to me. We was in the dressing room getting. He said, "Do it look like I was hurt?" I was like, "Hell yeah, you was hurt." I said, "Everybody seen you was hurt." And friends with his speed and everything, he was just he the hardest guy I've ever sparred in my life.
Oh yeah, boxing ability, crafty as ever. And
terrible.
I'm thinking I'm coming off of Evander Holyfield and beating him in good fashion. I'm thinking, man, friends can't work with this. Man, boxing is a style matchup. You got I'm a pure boxer, but you got another pure boxer who's just sneaky fast, but sneaky strong. Everybody look at his power, and you like, man, you get in the fight, and you're in the middle of it. I got to constantly make adjustments. I'm like, this is the hardest fight I had as a pro. That's the shit fight, man.
Nah, I make fights.
Mm-hmm. And how'd you feel that night that he fought Frez Montell? You got.
That was one fight I never wanted to see happen.
Yeah. Must have been
Chris
tough.
Bird's my man. Chris Bird's like my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We hung out. I stayed at his house. I never wanted him to see him fight Fred, and I told him. Because style makes fights. I know Chris style, I know my style, I know Fred's style. Yeah. And I knew how hard it was for me to spar Fred. You know, and this was when Fred was at like heavyweight. So when he went up to heavyweight and that power, I don't know where that power came from, but I see how he was hitting people and hurting them. And I'm like, Chris, man, don't mess with him. Chris, like, you crazy, he garbage. I'm like, all right, man. I said, don't mess with Fred. Like anybody, I said, if there's any fighter that I know that could give you problems, Fred is the only one. Mm-hmm. And I just fight. You told me that you was right.
And he was. Now, you gotta remember, Montell was in a ring with him when I fought him at the Holyfield. So, you know, I'm listening to him. You know, we like brothers. I'm like, okay, whatever. I like whatever. I ain't no trust in that.
Hey, look, I gotta tell y'all this story. You already know, Chris. Like Holyfield is like, it's Muhammad Ali. I was in love with Evander Holyfield, James Toney, and Pernell Whitaker. Mm-hmm. Holyfield to me was second behind Muhammad Ali. He's one of the greatest ever in my eyes, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in the ring. Chris asked me to welcome to the ring. I felt great. I felt honored and everything. So I'm in the ring with Chris, and Holyfield looked me in my face, and I just looked away. I felt so bad. I was like, ah. Mm-hmm. I said, he see me in the ring with Chris. I was like, ah. He killed me. I couldn't even look him in his face.
Oh man.
Cause I like he was an idol to me. Evander Holyfield is the only fighter I know that any fight you went to that he fought, even if he lost, you would walk out the stadium and say, man, that's a bad man.
Yep.
He could have lost. You leaving out the stadium like, man, that man bad.
The mental ability to come back against a guy who beat him like so many times, like it's amazing how he's not afraid of anything, and he just gives it 100% every time. And
the man 215, 216, fighting people 250.
Man,
Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe, he's standing right there with them trading, going blow for blow.
Yep. After Bowe did what he did to him in the first fight, he came back and beat him. That's incredible, incredible. You know, and Lennox Lewis too in that first fight beat him up pretty good, and he still came back. He was gonna fight after Tyson already bit an ear off.
The man he wanted to continue to fight.
Yeah,
he was missing.
That guy's amazing.
That's what that man was made of. He is, like I tell everybody to this day, my top 5 heavyweights: Muhammad Ali, Holyfield. I gotta put Joe Louis up there, and Larry Holmes and Lennox Lewis. That's my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I see Holyfield could beat all 4 of them. He ain't gonna beat Ali, but he could beat the other 3.
You don't think
that's why I got him second.
There's no
hell no. Ali was the boxers. Ali, his speed and skill level and his size make him great in every area. Whatever area it was, he'd be good enough.
Yeah. Chris,
that 220 with his speed.
Yeah.
And I tell people, Cassius Clay, not Muhammad Ali, but Cassius Clay was the greatest fighter ever in history. They keep talking about this Sugar Ray Robinson. I tell people, I said, look at Sugar Ray Robinson, look at Muhammad Ali. Sugar Ray Robinson didn't have the legs that Cassius Clay had. He's the greatest fighter that ever put a pair of gloves on. Cassius Clay. Not Muhammad Ali, who sat out for 3 years, but Cassius Clay.
I go with Cassius Clay all the time as far as, okay, before that Ali, you look at Cassius, Marcellus Clay.
Right, I mean, right. The man lost 3 years in his prime.
Yeah.
The greatest fighter that ever laced it up.
Now, would you ask Montell a lot of Muhammad Ali questions, Chris?
What's that?
Would you ask Montell a lot of questions about Muhammad Ali because he was real close to him?
No.
No?
I didn't. You know what? Honestly, I didn't even know he knew Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
I really didn't even say nothing about it.
Yeah.
You know, Flex. See, Flex. You know what Flex said? That's what I told Flex. Sean Fletcher, who was one of the great amateur, good pro and everything. Now, you know, we used to all sit around. Sean said he was the man. He got 200, 300, 400 fights, whatever. I said, Sean, I only got 30 amateur fights, and I still made the Olympics. He said, well, you know what? You growing up with Muhammad Ali made you a better fighter. He said, you don't even need. He said, growing up and being around Muhammad Ali would have got you 50 wins. And you know who else told me? Johnny McClain, Yaya. They both told me the exact same thing. They said, being around Muhammad Ali got you as good as you are. I was like, well, that makes sense.
And that's true.
And, I was a Tyson fan.
Yeah.
I was a huge Tyson. I think Mike played when he was 15 years old. I was like, ain't nobody gonna beat Mike. I was a huge Tyson fan. Everybody thought I was kind of stupid. They're like, why you like Tyson? You a pure boxer, and you like Tyson? I just like, dude, work ethic. I know how he fights. I know what he can bring, and he's undersized, but he bring it every time. I fell in love with Mike Tyson, man. Love that dude.
I mean, he was on the right road. He was on the road to be the greatest fighter ever. Whatever happened with his trainer and his manager died, that made a big difference.
Okay, so
and lifestyle, you know, he got a lot when he was young. You start to have a lifestyle like that, take years off your career, and your focus and your mentality ain't the same all the time.
How about
Now he fought Buster Douglas. Come on, man, he a shell of himself. And he still knocked the man down in a long count, and I still had a chance to win. And he had the worst night of his life. Buster Douglas had the greatest night. That night, you put him with any heavyweight, he get with him.
On that night, Buster Douglas beating everybody.
Yep.
Ooh, he was on point.
He was motivated to. He was on that night, like they say, Cassius Clay fought Cleveland Williams, would have beat anybody ever in history. James Buster Douglas would have beat anybody ever in history that night.
Oh my goodness!
I was just thinking that too not that long ago. I really believe that too, man. Really do.
He was so tight that night. I mean, hands was just fast. Everything was just perfect.
He was just ready to die that night. He was.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you this. Chris Byrd, let me ask you one question. All right, you a great Mike Tyson fan. Did it change the way you look at him a little bit when he quit in a fight? Did that make a difference to you?
It changes with any fighter in history if you quit the fight.
I mean, when Oscar quit against Pacquiao, that hurt me so bad.
Look, hey, I don't care. When I lost all the weight, that's fighting light heavyweight, my shoulder came up hurt. When they stopped at night, so even when I went down, got up, and the referee like, you continue. I wanted to still fight with the one eye. I don't care. I just wanted to finish the fight. You don't quit. I fought.
Ain't no such thing as quit.
Vladimir Klitschko, the first fight, I took a beat for 12 rounds. For 12 rounds. I ain't quit. Went to the wrong corner in the 10th round. I ain't gonna quit.
Ain't no such thing as quit.
No, you don't sit in the corner and quit. Hey, you're a fighter. You got to be almost, and I know it sounds kind of crazy, almost willing to die in the ring before you quit. You know,
right.
everybody get injured. stuff happens, but it's part of the sport.
And
they just call me safety first, and you don't want to engage. I'm like, dude, I'm one of the toughest dudes in boxing at this point. Shoot, I'll fight all these cats. I ain't tripping. I don't care.
Right.
I want to care about getting destroyed or dude too big. Let's fight. And I ain't gonna quit. They can just punk me. I'm gonna fight.
If I could choose on how I want to die, I'd rather die in the ring than anywhere else.
I told my wife that, and look, and then Tracy, finally was like, I see where you're coming from. This is what I do. If I'm in the ring, I die. I died doing what I love. It's unfortunate that I died in the ring. I mean, I got a family. I wanna be there for my kids. But if I was to die at any point in my life, then in the ring.
Right, no doubt.
Part of it.
No doubt.
Now, were you ever in a fight, Chris, that you felt you might actually die in there? Did you ever get hit so hard?
It's after the fight. Back-to-back fight. Andrew Galata, Jamil McCline. Only 2 fights in my... Not fighting Ike or not even get pounded by Vladimir Klitschko both times. But after the Galata and Jamil McCline fight, I told my wife, if I don't wake up, I'll see you in heaven. Yeah, I just told her that because I didn't feel right. After the fight, my head was in a different, wasn't in this world. It was just spinning. I'm like, man, this is the only time I really feel like I may not wake up from, going to sleep and waking up. So, other parts of your body in other fights, you broke up. But in those 2 fights, it was more my head than anything.
How about you, Montell? Did that ever happen to you?
Not as far as like my head or nothing like that. I mean, I pray to God that when Roy Jones hit me with the dirty second shot where I didn't see and he loaded up, I just pray to God that I didn't lose consciousness or I died because I could have. Because it was just a dirty, vicious shot. And even when Tarver hit me in the back of the head, it was a dirty, vicious shot. But
first round,
as far as my head, right, the first round, the man hit me in the back of the head with a dirty shot. And nobody said nothing about it, and I still fought 11 rounds with a concussion. The scariest thing my wife at the time, what happened was, after I fought Tarver, I came home and I was feeling terrible. And I got up to use the bathroom, and my wife at the time came in and woke me up, and I was laying on the floor. I said, "What's wrong? What happened to you?" I was holding my penis in my hand, and I was laying on the floor. I had passed out. And that's when I knew, I needed to go to the doctor, and I got an MRI. They said I had a concussion. But that was the worst I ever felt as far as a head shot. But I fought a guy named, I think his name was Thomas Reed. I fought a guy in Connecticut, and I had lost 37 pounds in like 6 weeks. I was supposed to have been 7 weeks, but ESPN ended up moving the fight up an extra week, and I lost 37 pounds. That's the first time I ever felt about quitting in a fight. That's how bad I was feeling. I was like, man, I can't do this no more. I just wouldn't let myself quit. But that was the worst I ever felt as far as physically.
So you didn't want to quit
couldn't do it, though.
Yeah.
Man, I couldn't do it, man. I want to be able to live with myself.
So how did you guys feel when you saw De La Hoya quit against Pacquiao? Like,
it hurt me. It hurt me real bad. It hurt me.
Oh, man.
It hurt me with Tyson. I mean, like, people to this day, they get mad, because they Tyson fans. He probably got the greatest fan base in boxing. And I tell them, I said, man, he quit, man. I mean, I just can't look at them the same way. They get mad at me. I said, I'm a boxer, man. I know how I feel. You know what I'm saying? To quit and everything. And when I was watching the fight, I was in my buddy's basement, sitting next to my wife. And when they asked Oscar, we gonna stop the fight, and he said, okay. It was like a shock went through my whole body. I just couldn't believe. It hurt me. Like, I just couldn't believe when he agreed and said, okay, yeah, stop the fight.
yeah, I was shocked too.
I just don't believe, I can't believe still that fighters and, on a lower level, some guys come in and just get paid. Okay, give me more money, I'm going to fight a little bit and you go. And you got a mid-level. But when you're at the highest level of the sport and you quit, come on now. I mean, that's just not even in my mental capacity to even think about ever just, I'm just going, man, I'm getting beat up. I'm just going to quit. I mean, I may not have a chance of winning, but I'm not going to quit.
Now,
I wasn't a power puncher. I didn't have late knockout power, but if you beat me every round, beat me up, and the referee ain't gonna just stop the fight, and I'm still hanging in there fighting enough to where he can't stop it, I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna just give up on. No, you fight to the end.
Yeah.
That's boxing. That's true for me. For me, no doubt, true fight.
Yeah. How'd you feel when you saw Vitaly Klitschko quit with you? How'd you feel about that?
Look, well, my lawyer told me, look, I sit down after the ninth round, ninth round over, and my lawyer told me, hey, I think he quit. That's why I jumped straight up in the air, and I grabbed, I hugged my brother Patrick, crying. I'm like, are you
crying like a baby,
like a little baby, like the way you think. But the thought that went through my mind was, I can't believe you quit, especially when you in your home country, adopted country. Everybody cheer for you, and you supposed to be up on the scorecard. Wait, and you quit over? I'm like, are you sick? Are you serious? You quit. You champion and you quit.
Yeah.
Who got that? So I'm like, the respect level, that's why he got criticized so bad after the fight a lot. And they elevated Vladimir to supreme and he dropped because the respect level was gone. That's why he made it up when he fought Lennox Lewis. He wanted to hang there and fight and show people, well, I'm really not a quitter. But you really was a quitter. I mean, you quit in a fight, I don't care. You do it once, it's the thought, you'll do it again. If they get hot and heavy in there, you're going to end up, at the end of the day, I'm done. I'm not going to hang in there. So I lost a lot of respect. And matter of fact, Montell was the one that told me about the Klitschko brothers at the very start. You remember that?
Yeah.
What did he tell you about?
He said you see them fight over there. You said you watch it from the Klitschko brothers. I never knew nothing about them. Montell told me about them.
So, what'd you think of him, Montell?
I just thought they were some, two big guys. I like them, but they was something about a certain point they can't go past. If you push them to a certain point, they'll fall apart. That's what happened. What was that? Corey Sanders beat one of them. Was it Corey Sanders?
Yeah, Corey Sanders.
Corey Sanders beat one of them. Brewster showed so much respect. I mean, so many balls. He took a beating for 6-7 rounds, and Klitschko couldn't go no more, and he quit. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what happened.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, see, if you fight them in Germany, they Superman because whatever they taking, whatever they doing, they different fighters over there. In America, they ain't the same.
Yeah.
If you ever notice, the fights that they look like world beaters is in their hometown. Fights that they lose is here in America.
That even just happened with Lucian Bute in England with Carl Froch. Did you guys watch that fight at all?
I didn't even watch it, man. Nah.
That's like his first time.
Andre Ward is the greatest one.
Yeah. Well, he beat Froch before that. You guys brought up...
What's that?
Montell brought up Vernon Forrest before. I wanted to talk about Vernon Forrest a little. What do you guys remember about him in the days?
Well, Chris go first. He knew him longer.
Oh, man. I didn't know Vernon until we were 15 years old. We were at the junior elite camp together. He was close, man. I mean, that was like a brother. I mean, I could talk to Vernon. Like, cause we traveled all over the world in the amateur world championships, to Olympic stuff where we roommated, know each other, argue, laugh together, snuck out, go in the clubs, we can do crazy stuff together. So, I have a relationship with our amateur guys, and all of us amateur guys that say, man, I wish it was the camp days again, going to training camp, because we were all like a band of brothers, man. We talk to each other, and when we keep in touch. Vernon, man, when I got my phone was blowing up in the middle of the night, people calling me, man, and it was all amateur guys, our amateur buddies. Man, Vernon got killed. Man, I cried literally I was like, are you serious? Vernon was close. We were so close. He was close to my wife. I mean, really close, because we dated in amateur, and everybody know her, and especially Vernon, knowing her, and we, me and my wife just sat there and cried. I mean, that's one of our boys. If you talk about band of brothers in amateur, he's part of the band. I mean, real close. So it was devastating losing him. But with Vernon, a lot of people say, well, man, Vernon is such a, nice guy, and he was. I could never believe him doing something like that. I'm like, really? You didn't know Vernon then. Vernon had temper. Vernon had temper on him.
Terrible temper.
He had stepped to you in a minute. And so I messed with him. He didn't like get over on him. And I'm like, dang, that's how Vernon is. Running up in somewhere, looking for somebody. You can try to carjack me and get away? Are you? You know who I am? And Vernon had that kind of attitude. And I was like, man, to lose with my boys like that. Montell and Vernon are guys that if we talk about boxing, we talk about boxing. From two boxing point of views who know the game. I can talk to Montell about boxing. We could break down boxer and fight, and I love that with that kind of knowledge of the game. And Vernon was a guy like that too. We'll call each other, talk about fights, break down stuff, kick each other's brain, get ideas like, oh man, the fight could go like this, if this, and this. Because in the ring, as far as us boxers, we know what's up. And Vernon was, one of those guys that I truly miss, being real with. Man, we grew up poor. We traveled the world. We know what's up. And that's how he was. In his pro career, when he beat Shane Mosley. Now, Shane Mosley, part of the Band of Brothers, real close to him. But when he beat Shane, I was like, Shane can recover from it, from a loss, because he's Shane Mosley. Vernon needed that win. Vernon would have lost. He was probably went to obscurity a little bit and had to work his way back to being the man or getting on that level. So when he won, I was sad a little bit. He beat my man Shane. We all close, but I was so happy for him. I was like, this dude's gonna be a dominant champion because he got that kind of skill set. But just sad about it. Man. I'm still sad. I still got his number in my phone. I always have it. So I can just look at it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna never take it on my phone.
That's my boy.
How old were you?
Vernon Forrest.
I was gonna ask how old you were when you met Vernon. Did you meet him?
I met Vernon in '91. I met all the guys in '91, but they didn't know who I was because I was a nobody. In '92, they were like, "Oh, you was the little short guy." You know what I'm saying? Because I fought Jeremy Williams in '91 and beat him. I got robbed real bad. And that's what got me put on the map. But then when I came back in '92 and won the U.S. Championships, everybody, took me as being serious. I mean, they took me, for real. So,
outside that post fight with Harry McKee, I was like, I don't know.
You said what?
I said outside that close fight with Harry McKee in the finals, I was like,
he said close. Dude, I dropped in the first 5 seconds. I was like, oh my God, I ain't never hurt nobody in my career. This dude was 6'5". I came out hit him with that fucking he fell. that just summed it all up. But when you was talking about Vernon Forrest and his attitude and his temper, I'm gonna tell you a story right now that's gonna sum up Vernon Forrest and his temper. Teron Millette was a new guy, came around, like me, knocking everybody out. And they was going, it was a sports fest, right? They was on their way.
That was on the boat.
Go ahead. Right, with Melvin Fawcett. Melvin Fawcett said, Vernon, I bet you can't stand there, because, Vernon could punch too, but Teron could punch. And Melvin Fawcett like, I bet you can't stand there and punch with him. Vernon like, you crazy? What? I bet you I can. And Melvin Fawcett let this man get mad, get out of his game plan. He went there trying to bomb him. Teron Millette and got knocked out. And after the fight, he's like, man, I let Melvin geek me up like that. I let Melvin geek me up. that was Vernon Forrest in his temple.
Montell, I did not know you was at the festival in '91.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all didn't know me. I was just there watching superstars. I was just there. I was just happy to be there. Because I live in LA then.
Yeah, but that's a story that very few people even know about. that we were.
You know who I was at the fight with?
What's that?
Me and Layman Bruce was at the fight. Two guys that nobody knew who they was. Me and Layman Bruce, we went to go to fight together.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, I talk about that story. Look, I didn't know. Man, all these years we knew each other. I didn't know you were on the bus when that came. Because that was the same ride.
Nah, I wasn't on the bus. But Vernon told me the story. Nah, I wasn't on the scene yet. I just fought Jeremy in the Golden Gloves, and people, Melvin Foster was the only person who knew who I was because he was at the fight now in Iowa when I fought him. So when I found him at the Sports Fest, oh, that's the little man right there. He beat Jeremy.
Wow.
But, yeah.
So you got to John Ruiz in the festival?
No, I beat John in U.S. Championships.
But you was there with Layman Brewster.
Yeah, me and Bruce was just there watching the fights. I was just coming in. I came there to watch you. Cause I said, well, I'm gonna end up fighting Chris Byrd. I'm going down to 165, and I'm fighting Chris Byrd.
No, he was scouting you. He was scouting you, Chris.
I came there to scout Chris Byrd.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm like, man, and you know what happened? I met Jeremy at a tournament in Azusa, and I stood next to him. I was like, ain't no way in hell I'm a light heavyweight. Like, I can't fight this dude. Like, I gotta go down to 165. I just couldn't make it. The lightest I ever made was 172.
Couldn't do it.
I couldn't make it.
Yeah. So what was it like to see the Vernon Forrest Oscar De La Hoya sparring sessions? What did it look like? Vernon just toyed with him all the time.
Play with him. Too big, too strong. I could have won a follow.
Mm-hmm.
It was style. That style. It was too hard. You think about Vernon, he's tall, and Oscar was taller than everybody else. At 132, Oscar was pretty tall for a weight class, and so he had when he was 32 sparring with 39-pounder. Vernon could punch too, so
right.
Vernon, not the greatest jab, but he got so much reach with his jab. Just touch with that jab, he's setting that right hand up. That's what the right hand and the uppercut would knock your head off with Vernon. So after Chris that, man.
Hey, let me say this. Chris Curley.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, I'm going to say something, and I bet you money Chris would say the same thing. If it was anybody who would have beat Floyd Mayweather, it was Vernon Forrest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was his style was made for Floyd Mayweather.
Agree with that, Chris Byrd?
Look, ask Roger. That's all I got to say. Ask Roger. Roger wouldn't be honest with you, but in public, but talk to him on the side.
Yeah.
That's the only, and not because he's my boy, but the style of Vernon is hard.
Right.
It's too
That
hard.
long, that length with that strength.
You can crack with that right hand. Always have, and it'll throw you off. You could be slick. You could be slick, do everything, but he's gonna be patient. He gonna wait. He gonna get it off, and with that reach and length, it just give you problems. I mean, it's a style matchup. I mean, certain styles are just difficult for you. And I always thought if Vernon would have hung around 47, the matchup was gonna be, let's see if Floyd take that risk. And I love Floyd. I mean, dude, you got skills. Kid can fight. But with Vernon Forrest, when you talk about style matchup, it's gonna be really difficult. And I thought Vernon at that time could beat all the guys.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you think Oscar would ever fight Vernon Forrest in the pros?
Nope. He didn't want a piece of. Hey, Vernon Forrest will tell you. Vernon Forrest said he walked up to Oscar De La Hoya, looked him in his face, and said, "Oscar, man, give me a shot, man." He said, Oscar looked him in his face and kept walking. He didn't even answer his question. He looked at him and kept walking.
That's messed up.
He wasn't crazy.
Look, it's an amateur thing. It's an amateur respect. With only guys, if you're forced to fight somebody when you're in a situation where you're not the man, and you can pick and choose who you want to fight,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't gonna fight the guy that you know from amateur that you really never even want to spar with.
Right. I know this man gonna give me problems.
You ain't gonna do that. That's Roy Jones. Roy Jones didn't fight two guys from amateur actually 3 that started giving problems.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Little is one of them.
Right.
But Gerald McClellan, Frank Lyles,
Right.
they're all. Frank Lyles was champion when Roy was champion at 68. He never even mentioned Frank.
Right.
Mm.
And you Palm best fighter in the world, so it's an amateur respect. You always looking like, man,
Right.
I know he can fight. We know amongst each other as fighters. We know who got skills, I mean, media can say whatever, but we know I ain't mess with him. It's like this with me. At one point, nobody want to fight. They really want to fight me, but nobody want to fight Maurice Harris either.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So these two that nobody really want to fight, they got to fight each other. And I'm worried about Mo Harris more than I'm worried about, Vitaly Klitschko.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because of his skill set, style, and what he can do. So
He's supposed to be one of the greatest, man.
Hmm.
With his skill level, he's supposed to be one of the greatest with his skill level.
Oh my goodness. He took this thing serious, like totally serious all the time, and made it his life. With the height, power, skills he had, could have been great.
Yeah.
But we know
when I seen Fred. When I seen Fred knock him out, I said, man, this dude's the real deal.
Hmm. Yeah.
And he was beating Fred too.
Yeah.
How about
He was
Daniel
beating
Nicholson?
everybody.
Heck yeah, always.
Who's that? Mo Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mo Harris.
I think Daniel Nicholson was one of the most skilled. He was the most athletic, skilled people. I mean, any sport he wanted to play. I've seen him play football. I've seen him play basketball. I've seen him box. He was one of the most gifted, skilled guys in the world. I just think for him going to Barcelona, getting robbed against the Savon, and then I just think the fight with Jeremy Williams, I think that kind of hurt his psyche a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They rushed him and had these two guys fight each other when they shouldn't have been fighting each other, and it made a big difference.
Yeah. Did you spar him in the amateurs at all?
Well, Doc was the only person. When I came to the box off as a box off alternate, even though it don't make sense. It was a box off champion, the box off runner up, and me. So all the guys who had fights, they hadn't made the team yet, so they didn't want to take no chance. They were like, man, I can't spar you, I can't take no chance. But I just wanted to get a little work. And Donnell said, man, I'll spar you. And we moved around, and I respect him for that. He got in the ring when he didn't have to, and he worked with me.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first day we had sparred.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sparring with him, man. That dude was like a Hercules. And he was so cut up. He was a bodybuilder.
Yeah, he was a Cotton Diesel. His nickname was Cotton Diesel. What everybody called him.
He was Cotton Diesel. His legs small as mine. But you upper body, oh my goodness.
And now, Chris Curley, now listen to this. Okay, Donnell Nicholson was like 6'3", 6'4", 197 pounds. I remember how much he weighed. When he got in tip-top shape, he was between 195 and 197 because we was going to McDonald's every day. Because I was 172. I had 6 pounds to give. He was 196, 197. Him and Torsten Mike got off the bus, and they stood right next to each other. Torsten Mike 6'5", supposed to be 178 pounds. I know Nicholson was 197, only 6'4", 6'3", and they was the exact same size.
Mm-hmm.
And I never saw Torsten Mike weigh in not one day at the Olympics. He never weighed in not one time.
Wow.
Ain't no way in hell he was 178 pounds.
He was a big dude.
Yeah.
And this dude 6'5" and wasn't skinny,
Mm-hmm.
with the big legs and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, boxing is crazy.
Yep.
I mean, me and Chris, we went they didn't like Chris Byrd because of his father and everything, so they wanted him to get knocked out. They wanted Jerry Moon. They didn't want me, so they made us go to Canada 3 weeks before the Olympics.
Yeah,
Don't even make sense.
For the trial.
3 weeks before the trials start. So we get hurt or get knocked out or we eliminated. So we both told our coach, like, look, if I get caught with a shot and you think I'm hurt, just throw the towel in. Because we didn't want to get an H and get suspended for a month. So I ended up fighting the Russian I beat the number one Russian. What's his name? I forgot his name. The one who knocked out Jeremy. I forgot his name.
Yeah, yeah.
But we all thought he was gonna make the team.
Yeah.
But after I beat him. He was world champ. I beat him, so they replaced him with the other Russian, and that's the Russian who I beat in Canada. I beat the silver medalists in the Olympics. I beat the silver medalists in the Olympics 3 weeks before the Olympics. Well, about a month before the Olympics. And I went home without a medal. I beat the gold medalists and the silver medalists, and I don't have a medal to show my kids.
God, you would think they'd make a huge deal out of you in the pros, you know? It's strange.
I tell everybody else, if I was white, Mexican, or Puerto Rican, I'd have been a superstar. I'd have been a mega superstar in boxing. What I did in the little time I did it in, I'd have been a major superstar.
Yeah, what do you say about that, Chris? How Montell just came out of nowhere and did all that?
Oh man, I mean that I look at with his skill set. I'm a skill guy, man. I like when you see a fighter that have that much skill coming out of nowhere. It's like, where you been? You gotta check everything. Is he one of the Cubans sneaking over?
Right. Larry Donovan say I came out the grass.
Yeah.
And like this kid came out the grass from somewhere.
I had all these international fights. I've been to every major world, national, all these tournaments, everything. And you come on the scene, it's guys that come on the scene, like a Donnell Nicholson, which, like Montell said, just a good athlete. Dude is a great athlete. I mean, body beautiful, come in, work it. Not great skill, but enough to be the best in the country in his weight class to make the Olympics. But then you got Montell with like crazy skills. So when I first got in the ring with, I'm telling you, I thought nobody could match me in anything. And I'm looking at Montell like, man, he's too short. I'm gonna smoke him. And I'm not even hitting him. And I thought, and then to turn pro and do all he did and not ever get mentioned amongst anything when they bring up light heavyweight. You're like, are you serious?
Yeah. How'd you feel? How'd you feel the first?
A lot of guys.
Yeah. How'd you feel when you saw him fighting James Toney? Did you feel he was ready for that fight, the first fight?
Oh, heck yeah. It was funny to me because we we laugh. Me and my
who was my idol?
James Toney. Yeah.
Chris Byrd and his brother used to tease me all the time. The first time I seen James Toney, we was in Detroit at the Palace. He walked up to me and spoke to me. He walked up to me like, hey, what's up, Montell? Man, that made I did not know this man knew who I was. I love James Toney. Look, his brother Patrick say I used to sit in the nosebleed seats with a cigarette lighter. So lights out, baby. Lights out, baby.
Yeah.
Like, he loved James Toney.
Oh, I love him with James Toney. Oh my goodness. And then to be in the ring and fight it. In my opinion, I know James Slick and probably looked at, Montell, okay, amateur guy. But one thing James do is respect guys from amateur. But on that level, he's probably looking at Montell like, come on, man, you ain't ready for this. So we're laughing at home, watching it. You ain't watching the fight like, man, Montell about to put in work. I mean, I wasn't even tripping off James and what he got. I'm thinking of with James, what he about to deal with. You know what I'm saying? With the style and with the elusiveness and the skill set he have, I'm like, man, that James got skills. He can fight. I give him his props. But, hey, 2 fights to tell you.
That's it.
If you're the man, they're going to give you the fight if they're close.
Right. He got so many decisions. That ain't crazy. Terry McGroom beat him. Fred beat him.
Oh, yeah.
David Tiberi beat him. Rockman beat him. Samuel Peter beat him. Well, he done got so many decisions, boy, they ain't funny.
Yeah. He's out hustled sometimes. But you gotta love that shoulder roll.
Oh yeah, shoulder roll. You just got like Floyd, but Floyd don't even throw. He got the best counter right hand of anybody off that shoulder roll.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, James uses it more as an offense, I think, or a defense, just.
Yeah.
You know.
James did his thing. I mean, I give him props. I mean, I'll take nothing away from him. The only thing I take away from him, he can't fight. That's the only thing. But throughout his career, he did his thing. You know, winning every weight class, and he don't have a strong. Not even with a strong amateur background. We from the same. You know, we're about 50 miles apart. From Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm from Flintman.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So you saw Montell beat James Toney. How'd you? What were you thinking when you saw James land that right hand and make Montell do that dance? You say anything to him?
Well, you know what I was thinking?
What's that?
I didn't listen to Eddie Futch. Eddie Futch told me. He said, Montell, do not throw a right hand without coming back with a left hook. And what happened was, see, this what happened between me and James Toney that a lot of people don't know. When James Toney was going to be my manager. Jackie Callis flew me to Detroit. I stayed at James Toney's house. He was my idol. I was so frantic, right? But the only thing about James was, because of his personality and everything, everybody just kissed his ass. And I'm like, well, you know, that's my man. I love him. I'm not going to kiss his ass. And dude, you remember, what was his name? Derek Cheevis? What was the kid name from Michigan? Man, what was his name? He was like a middleweight or something, smaller guy. His name was Cheevis or, man, I can't remember his name. But, you know, everybody, me and James Toney sparred. And like I said, everybody just kissing his butt. And me and James went at it. And he, like I said, he was 2-time world champion. I had just got home from the Olympics. So I'm a raw amateur. And we sparred. And I was like, shit, I'm just as good as he is right now. We went at it, and he couldn't do nothing to me. And, you know, Jackie, the money Jackie offered me, I wasn't happy with that. And after I sparred James, I said, I'm just as good as he is right now. And like at the time, he was, he was world champ. So I just knew if I signed with him, they were just gonna put me up on the, on the shelf somewhere until, his career, was almost over. So I was telling the guy, man, I can't remember the kid name from Detroit. We was in the room, and I'm like, shit, James didn't do shit to me. I'm like, I'm just as good as he is. And everybody, we had went to a party. And the kid went up to James, like, James, guess what Montell said? He's like, you couldn't do nothing to him. And James looked at him and said, shit, I couldn't. And then everybody in the party just couldn't believe it because, like I said, his personality and everything, he always, he a bully. And, like they say, if you bully a bully, you know what I'm saying, that's how you win. And for me to, talk garbage and whatever, and, I guess he respected that, but just people couldn't believe it. He was like, shit, I couldn't do nothing to him. And everybody's mouth just dropped. And I was arguing with Hakeem Rockman one day. Now listen, Hakeem Rockman was heavyweight champion of the world, knocked out Lennox Lewis. I would never say the things to Hakeem Rockman that I said. I would never say things to Riddick Bowe that I said to Hakeem Rockman. Because, me and Riddick Bowe was in camp first. Me and Rockman used to go at it. I used to talk so much garbage to each other. I said, man, I would serve you. I said, we get in the ring, I would clown you to death. And all this crew, they just couldn't believe it. First of all, most guys got guys that's around and, just kiss their butt. So, I'm talking to this guy like he had nobody, and they just couldn't believe it. So we finally sparred. And I clowned him. I clowned him to death. And he got the ring like, man, you ain't do nothing. So we kind of stopped talking for like a week or two because he ain't giving my credit. And Chris Byrd called me like a week or two later, like, man, Hakeem Rockman said, man, you the greatest fighter he ever been in the ring with in his life. And I was like, okay. And I said, well, he gave me his respect. That's cool. Yeah. So after that, Chris, Rockman just couldn't accept it. So he I forgot the kid. What's the kid, the heavyweight kid? Eddie Cotton or Eddie, what's the kid name? Eddie Chambers. Yeah, I sparred Eddie Chambers because Rock was like, I bet you can't do it to him. Clown him. He couldn't touch me. Rockman couldn't believe it. So he's like, man, you can't do that. I bet you can't do it to Chris Byrd. I'm like, man, you mean Chris go out like Chris can't hit me? He's like, you crazy. I was like, all right. So Rockman called himself trying to set me up. So he had a press conference at his house he was training at. So he's like, Montell, remember that time you said that Chris Byrd couldn't hit you? I'm like, yeah, I remember I said. And he didn't know. He thought he was fooling me. He thought he was tricking me. Chris Byrd was right outside. So he was like, yeah, come here, Chris. Remember, Montell, remember what you said? He said, Chris, you can't hit. You can't hit him. And Chris was like, no, I can't hit him. Man, everybody's mouth just dropped. Rockman felt so stupid because he thought he was trying to set me up.
That's funny.
He's like, no. He's like, I can't hit him. And man, Rockman felt so stupid. But me and Rock ended up becoming cool after that. Though. I like Rock.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Rock cool. I remember that. I went to jump behind the house.
Yeah, you humble people. Montell makes people be honest, because if you can't hit some, there's no shame in it. You just can't hit them. You know? I don't know why.
Like people.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You said what? No, I was gonna say, man. People don't understand. People always ask me how I could fight the way I did. Nah, I don't know. I learned how to fight when I was 2-3 years old. I don't know how to. I don't remember learning how to fight. You know what I'm saying? Then I quit for 8 years, so I just grew up as a regular kid. I didn't know. So when I went in the ring to fight, I was just fighting off of memory. I didn't know why I was fighting like that. I mean, of course, I looked at Muhammad Ali. I didn't have the legs Muhammad Ali had. But, I'm sorry, I looked at Cassius Clay. But his reflex with his eyes and everything, I bit off his style. Everything I did was because of Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. But I didn't have the legs that he had. I couldn't bounce around like Larry Donald. Larry Donald had the best legs I've ever seen of any fighter besides Muhammad Ali.
How'd you feel when you saw Riddick Bowe punch him at the press conference?
You know.
You're cool with both of them, so I don't know how cool
I'm
Chris
cool with both of them.
Riddick.
So I'm like, I was like,
Yeah. You're cool with Riddick too, Chris?
I love Riddick.
Yeah.
But you know, one thing I couldn't believe?
What's that?
One thing that was good on one part, but Larry Donald, he got a great chin because he hit with two.
Yeah.
He's sucking with,
That was crazy.
He sucking it, and Larry took it, and to know Larry, you know what he was thinking? Ow, now. Ow, hell, now. Larry. He ain't gonna fight nobody back.
now.
Now. Ow, shoot. That's Larry.
Man. Yeah, you hate seeing two guys fight that you cool with both of them.
Oh man, that's
like when Lennox fought Shannon Bridge, I was like, oh my god.
It's just hard, man.
Yeah.
You know, Shane and Vernon, you like, dang, like, why they gotta fight? But hey, it's just part of it. When you're around somebody's weight class, and sometimes you boys. I know back in the day when Alan Starlin fought Simon Brown. Not Alan Starlin, but Maurice Block.
Right, they was best friends. Right, they was best friends.
Best friends, they fought each other. It's like, man, he cried after the fight. So you like, man.
Hey, remember Maurice Block? He told Simon Brown, he like, man, you tried to hurt me. You tried to hurt me. And I'm like, no, I didn't. They arguing after the fight because they best friends. Like, you tried to hurt me. No, I didn't.
That was just hard. You can't turn down that money. You champions in the same weight class.
So how do you
comes down to that, man.
How do you think they figure out who's gonna win? Like, what do? Just try to like jab each other?
It's business. I mean, it ain't nothing personal. It's
business. I ain't trying to like. I look at the like that. I may be mad at you. We may not be boys. I'm trying to, you know, mad go at a press conference. Yeah, I'm trying to knock you out, but I don't want to end your life or damage you for good. I mean, I think you got to be kind of demented. They ask boxers, you gotta have this, this fierceness thing. Yeah, I mean, you do it in a way, but I ain't trying to hurt. I'm trying to win. Period.
Hey, Chris Curley.
I ain't trying to kill you.
Yep.
You want to hear a story though? That I was mad as hell.
Please.
I got a phone call from ESPN.
And
they said Chris Byrd coming down to light heavyweight. Would you fight him? Do you want to fight Chris Byrd? I was like, nah, I want to fight Chris Byrd. They was like, well, he want to fight you. I'm like, what? Chris Byrd want to fight me? I called Vernon Forrest. Man, I was so mad. I said, man, this MF want to fight me, man. I can't believe it. Byrd. I was like, I'm taking the fight. Byrd like, no, man, y'all ain't fighting. That's what he said. He want to fight me. Man, I was so mad, boy. Chris was like, man, that's the same thing they told me. He said he want to fight you.
We got Montell Griffin, and he was. I was like, man, I would never fight Montell. Man, I was like my brother.
And also, man,
you remember back in the day with Donnell Nicholson? When they went
right.
Doc,
They cut you through the fight.
And I called you, and he said, you know, Doc ain't say that. That's a manual and them putting that junk out there. I was like, what he want to fight? Well, let's do it. And I was getting mad, just like he got mad. Then I'm still thinking that, you know, he's really calling me out. I don't want to fight Doc. Ever.
Yeah.
Hey, we like brothers, man. It ain't happening.
Yeah, weren't you close with Freza Kendo, or you weren't close at that point? Were you, Chris? I know
me and Frez, we were cool. We did Everlast stuff together. I mean, we became really, you know, cool, but not where, you know, he's not like Montell.
Yeah.
You know, like Vernon. We cool. They brothers. I mean, we go back. We got history.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was part of it. And see, really, it's Don doing. Don setting all this stuff up, making these matches. And we don't really want to, you know, I didn't want to fight Fred. I really didn't. At that point, I was looking at, okay, we all trying to make it. I want to fight bigger fights. I'm trying to get paid at this point. You know, I'm blessed to be in this situation. I want to fight the biggest names there where I can make the most money. And Don, you know, playing these games, and I didn't want to fight Fred. I know it's a hard fight, but not like it was. Like Montell was explaining to me. I ain't really noticed that until I got in the ring. So, you know, but I really didn't want to fight Fred.
Mm-hmm.
And mainly not because of friendship, because I'm like, you know, nobody don't know Fred like that. I want to cash out with the big guys at that time.
Mm-hmm. Now, how'd you feel, Montell, watching Chris fight Ike Bayabuchi way back then? when you saw
that was a fight I didn't want to. I just thought he was too big for Chris. I mean, at the time, Chris hadn't even been heavyweight that long. You know, as he, you know, you could look at Chris and tell that when he grew into his body, he started looking like a heavyweight. But when he fought Ike back then, he was a small heavyweight. Yep. I just thought, you know, because he fought Ike. I actually fought Tua right or before.
I think he fought Ike before he fought Tua, right? He fought.
Okay, he fought Ike before.
Yeah,
I just thought Ike was just too big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I weighed 208, a chubby 208. And Ike he had Curtis Coke training him. He was a skilled guy. I mean, honestly, for a big man, he did something in the ring that most of the heavyweights up to that point never did to me. He bent his knee. He got in front of me. I went to throw a jab and throw my left hand. He dipped. I was like, heavyweights don't do that. And Curtis was smart. He didn't anywhere. Because one time I spent him, I tapped him on the butt and moved. He smiled. He was like, oh, dang, you making me miss like crazy. So Curtis, after that round, said, hit it anywhere. And they talk about the Ike fight. Well, Ike would have been this, and that. But at that time, everybody dogged me in boxing. So really, after he beat me, he was anointed the next king. I'm like, what's up with that? Y'all just said I suck before the fight.
Wow. You know, Chris, I gotta say this.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, what's the most you ever weighed as a heavyweight?
Most I ever weighed 215, and see with the 215, 216, but with the 216, I'm coming with clothes on.
Right. So this man was 213, 212, 213 pounds. This man fought David Tua, Abuyabuchi, Kalata, Jamil McClain. Look at all these monsters. But that just shows how big this man's heart is.
Both Klitschko.
Both
Klitschko. Look who this man fought.
Man, it's amazing. Believe me, man, Chris Byrd, one of my favorite all-time fighters.
Never got the respect he deserved.
Never.
Roy Jones. One thing you gotta understand, Chris, with boxers, once y'all fight each other, it's like y'all bonded forever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So even if I don't like him, I still got to roll with him because we bonded.
Yep.
And Larry Merchant said that Chris Byrd was a light hitting heavyweight, and Roy Jones was like, well, let him hit you then and see how light he hit. And he's like, well, I'm not a fighter. Well, Roy was like, well, shut up then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was glad when Roy said that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Roy, took up for, one of his peers who didn't get the respect he deserved.
That's what we're supposed to do. I mean, we know what we face every time we get in the ring. And the big misconception on boxing is this dude can't punch. So ever say somebody can't punch. Maybe to this guy, he maybe can't punch. I get in the ring with him, dude hit hard as ever. I'm like, wait, they say he can't punch.
You said Jamil. I've been telling Jamil to fight like this his whole career. He's finally gonna do it against me. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And bring it hitting hard as ever. Well, he's a big guy, but he don't punch hard. Well, you get in front of him then. Let's see if he can punch. Boxing is the only sport. Go ahead. No, I was just saying, Prince, another one. For years, he can't punch, he can't. And then, myself knowing better, man, Prince hurt me 3 or 4 times in a fight that I just thank the Lord that I didn't go out from the punches. You know what I'm saying? He hit me with an overhand right one time, top of my head. And I was like, oh my God. I asked my boy, I said, that look like I was hurt? He goes, nah, I couldn't tell. I said, man, I was shook up for like 5 seconds. I just, man, so fast and strong. Yeah, that's how boxing is, too.
Who's that?
What I was going to say was, boxing is the only sport that I don't think a man who never been in the ring before should be able to commentate. Because if you don't know what we'd have been through, how could you commentate on it? I'm not saying that can't nobody be a fan of boxing. I'm not saying I don't respect people's words and opinions and everything, but to commentate a boxing match, if you never fought before, I don't think you should be able to do it. Because people don't know about, I got hit in the head one time, and I heard a bell. Dong! People don't know how that feels. I was fought in Barcelona. I got hit with the Korean hit me in the eye, and I seen stars. And I was trying to touch them. I'm like, where them stars come from? Like, people don't know the stuff that people go through. I was telling you, I got hit by Arthur Williams. First time I've been knocked down as a pro. I swear, when I went to the corner, I kept looking behind me. I thought a train was going by. I kept heard a I remember you asked your mom, you was like, what did he hit me with? I remember you asked your mom, you was like, what did he hit me with? Yeah, what did he hit me with? It was that right hand. Like, shit, a right hand. Going by, I'm like, why is that train in here? Man, it is crazy.
Wow.
Crazy stuff that happens, in the course of a fight, especially when you fight somebody and you have his game plan because you watch him on tape. But as soon as you get in the ring with him, you like, man, this ain't as easy as I thought. Yeah. Or he hit harder than I thought. Or he do this, or he do that. It's like fighting a Vander Holyfield. I'm like, I'm watching my tape. He older. I'm a clown him. He can't whoop me. Man, he was smart in the ring. He did certain stuff in the ring. I'm like, whoa. He cut me off certain angles. Pinned me in the ropes one round. I think it was like 10th round, and teed off him. But I'm thinking, he's smarter than I thought, and he hit harder than I thought. Dude can crack. So, when people say, well, this guy can't punch, or he's not this, or he don't look as good as he looked his last fight, it's a different style in front of you. Right. Style makes fight. Yeah, different stress, this whole different fighter. You ain't gonna look the same with every fight. Unless you fight and you got the chance to pick and choose who you fight to make you look good all the time. So, it's a difficult sport, but it's a fun sport. It's rough, but it's fun.
Yeah. And I asked Montell, Chris, how he felt when you fought Ibebuchi. How did you feel when you were watching the second fight with Roy Jones and it ended like that?
Oh, man. Watching the fight, honestly, I was like, come on, get started. I thought he was going to survive the round, get started, get to the Montell. Tell him what John Horner, Roy Jones' lawyer, told you. What did John tell you? all that, the rush, making you rush to go out there. Truly, John's my lawyer, who was Roy at the time. He's like, that wasn't a fair shake for this kid. He wasn't truly ready to go out there and fight. But we sped up everything to advantage Roy to go out there and have every. It wasn't in favor for Montell. You would thought Roy was still the champion. Right. I was the champion. I didn't know I didn't know that they changed the time of the fight, and I was the champion. Everything was sped up. Everything. The whole show. So, and then hearing
hearing that and you wonder why. You know, and then they'll show a replay and see, you know, Roy catching Montell, not knowing the whole background on what's happening, and really don't care. For us, that's just an excuse. Well, you got an excuse, man.
But you know what? Look, Chris Curley, I'm gonna give you an example right now. Not to cut you off, Chris. I'm gonna tell you something right now that Chris gonna remember. Chris Byrd said, "Why did they mark your gloves in the ring?"
Oh,
the commission marked my gloves when I was in the ring because I had just put them on. Because I didn't warm up 5 minutes for a fight. If you look at the replay, they marked my gloves in the ring. I had just put them on. I didn't warm up 5 minutes.
I remember that.
That's what my lawyer was talking about. Everything was sped up. Everything to get you out there quick. Way to fight. Man. You know,
and that's why the man ain't never gave me. That's why he never gave me a rematch, because he know he didn't beat the real Montell Griffin.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel when you find out about things like that, and then you have things like what happened with you were robbed before in Germany, right? With Joe Cortez. Was it Joe Cortez?
Well, I'm fighting Derek Nickelshelski, who was one of the hottest fighters around. He was 47, 48 0. I'm winning every round. Oh, the people, the judge from Germany had me winning. I'm winning on every round on every scorecard. The man threw a combination after the bell. When the bell rang, he threw a combination. They stopped the fight. American referee stopped the fight.
Mm.
I won on every scorecard. Wasn't hurt, wasn't nothing. The man just stopped the fight.
Yeah.
But that's what I see. That's one thing. See, I don't know Chris amateur career, how many times he got robbed. As far as his pro career, I can't really remember him being robbed, but you gotta remember me. Okay, I came out of nowhere, so I never really had to respect whoever. I got robbed against Jeremy Williams twice. I got robbed against Torsten Mai. I should have been undefeated as an amateur. I lost 3 fights to Jeremy Williams twice. I won both of them, and then Torsten Mai. I won that fight. I should have retired undefeated as an amateur. I go to the pros. I fight Eric Hardner. He ran like a girl. I got robbed. After getting rushed in with Roy Jones, I got robbed against Eric Hardner. I got robbed in BS in Germany against Nickelshelski. I got robbed against what's the kid from Detroit named the tall kid? Name? I forgot.
He did fight him.
You know what I'm talking about?
Left-hander.
Right, man. No, Rico Hoy.
Yeah,
man, I just got cheated out my whole career, man.
How about you, Chris?
It is what it
do
is.
you relate to that, Chris? Did you ever feel like you were robbed? Did you ever feel like you were robbed of something in a ring?
Nah, I don't even. No.
No. Chris had it good.
I know, bro.
Well, Chris was the man. He ran a division, so he wasn't gonna get robbed.
Yeah.
He won every fight.
There was a lot of
unanimously.
You couldn't rob him basically, but I know that there was a time they would have wanted to.
How many times you fought Mike DeMoss?
5 times.
What was your record?
I beat 5 beat me every time.
And he was the best middleweight besides Chris Byrd.
Oh, heck yeah.
Mike DeMoss was the best middleweight in the United States besides Chris Byrd, and he was 5-0 against him.
Hey, he's the best guy in sparring out of anybody. He kicked as Paul Vaden, as Ronald Sims, anybody that sparred with, as Javier Alvarez, who was the heavyweight. Ask him. Mike D will whoop everybody in sparring. I hated sparring with him. We in the same weight class. I gotta fight this dude. I just beat him in the U.S. Championship, and we get to sparring, he kick my tail.
Yeah. You see that a lot, though, right? Guys who are better in the gym than they are in front of people, actually.
There's a lot of guys like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see him fight, you like, what? This ain't the same dude that we watch sparring in the gym.
Like, you know, it was a thing going around in Vegas. There was a thing going around in Vegas at that time. You go to anybody and ask them, who is the greatest gym fighter ever in history? Everybody in Vegas will tell you Ross Thompson.
Oh, man, that's what I heard.
They'd be like, Ross Thompson is the greatest gym fighter ever in history. In the gym, he was the greatest fighter you ever seen in history. You get in a fight, and you'll be like, who the hell is this?
Yeah. He fought like every division. Fought from like 140 or 147 all the way up to like cruiserweight, right?
Yeah.
Heavyweight. No, heavyweight.
Heavyweight?
He came and fought me at 205. We signed a contract at 178.
Yeah.
And I knew I could beat him, so I just signed a contract.
Wow. I thought he fought you at light heavy, like on the dot.
No, I was light heavyweight. I was 178 pounds. He was 205.
Wow.
And I had to sign a waiver just to fight.
Yeah, in those situations, if you train it to make that weight, I don't care how much the guy weighs, you gonna fight. Like,
right, I'm fighting. I'm a fighter. I can't just say cancel fight. No, I ain't fighting. I gotta fight.
Now, do you get more money though from his purse? Do they take it from his purse?
I mean, I think I got $2,000. I think I got $100 a pound. He was 20 pounds heavier than me. So I got $100 a pound.
Makes up for something.
It was part of the game that we chose.
Yeah.
I love it to death.
Well, this was great, guys. I know there's like a lot of stuff that we didn't even talk about that I wanted to get into.
Yeah, me and Chris could do this for 4 hours, for 4 days straight.
Oh, yeah, we
bring back memories and laughter.
Yeah. So, what is the last time you guys talked?
Probably around Burner Pass.
Oh yeah.
I know it was. No, I talked to you after that because
Yeah, I talked to you right around when I fought Ross.
around there. Yep. When you fought there, because you told me you police officer.
Last time.
Big fella trying to challenge you in the street.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Who did that?
With Montell, did you say a big guy trying to get out on you? You said, I'll take this badge, this gun off, or whatever, I'll whoop you in the street.
Right there. Yeah. No, I was in the jail, because they didn't know who I was.
Oh, in the jail, yeah, all right there.
Yeah. And they told him who I was, he came and apologized.
Where were you?
You know, I'm a sheriff.
Oh, okay.
I'm a sheriff here in Chicago.
Yeah, you told me.
I got into a guy, he thought I was just a little chump. Found out who I was, came and apologized.
That's what's up.
He couldn't believe a little guy came, so I was like, man, I'll knock you out. He couldn't believe it. He got mad. They told him who I was, and he apologized.
Yeah, you better. Now, Chris told me, when I talked to Chris, you told me, Chris, that you have a burning sensation in your leg. And that's like an injury that you got. You think boxing maybe contributed to. Do you feel like you got any damage done to you, Montell? Chris, what happened to your leg first?
I got nerve damage in my foot. I got burned in my foot now. It's been going on for a couple of years. And, I've been to 5 neurologists because they think it comes from boxing, from the brain, checking the nerves down my back. I've been to the Mayo Clinic. Then a chiropractor, kinesiologist, acupuncture, whatever, you name it. I've been everywhere, and nobody knows where it's from. So I'm not going to say it is from boxing, but I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, this is what I did my whole life. And it comes, boxing, you get jarred, stuff happens, and, it could. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, I got brothers that, pretty messed up from boxing. Knowing what the sport can do, and, hey, it may have, I don't know. So I just live with it, man. I stopped going to doctors, taking medicines, and, because medicines, I'm taking prescription stuff and making me crazy. One made me suicidal, one made me depressed. I got off all that. Been doing homeopathic stuff just to, I have flare-ups. It's always, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's always at like a 5, a 4 or 5 as far as the burning and numb sensation. But when it flare up to like 10, a 9 or 10, it's, terrible pain. So I take like homeopathic medicine to, help with the flare-up. So I just live, man. And it, like I said, it could come from boxing. Most likely it probably did. Something, being jarred, whatever. But, who knows?
That sucks, man. One of the true great warriors, man. You have to live with that.
Hey, it's part of it. If it did come from boxing, I'm like this. Oh well. Would I do it all over again with the same type of burden sensation? Yeah. Hey, the ride was great. I mean, I was truly blessed to have fought. You know, I was talking with Montell Griffin, my Olympic teammate. We experienced something that very few people experience together. One, being at the Olympics, just being in the Olympic Village, being roommate in the same team in the biggest game very few people make. Then come out being underdogs as professionals and get to the highest level, fighting the top people in your weight class. And with Montell, he's fighting two of the greatest fighters to ever lace up gloves. You know, and he's part of that kind of club. So, you know, to say, you know, not to do it all over again because it's burden, man, boxing has been great. I mean, God has been really good, you know, to us to be on your show talking about boxing, our experiences, and doing it our whole life. I mean, it was just a great career for both of us. Yeah. And I'm just as proud of, you know, I'm joyful with myself that I got to this level. But I look at a close friend of mine who, you know, I'm so proud of her with just watching him fight throughout the years and can brag on certain situations we've been in, but to know him as a person and see him, you know, beat guys like James Toney, beating Roy Jones, and fighting Roy Jones again, just for him to be in that company. So when they bring up fighters, he's one guy. Well, who beat James Toney twice? Montell Griffin. Okay. Who the first man to beat Roy Jones? Montell Griffin. That dude stayed at my house. We were Olympic roommates.
Who the first American to beat Jerry Williams? The first American. The man was undefeated in America.
Yeah, in America. That's one thing about Jerry. Hey, he can go. Tyson in amateur. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, it's been a, you know, for me, it's been a blessing, been just a true joy. And with boxing, it took us all over the world as amateurs and as pros. Still taking us all over the world, doing stuff. Yeah. I'm a motivational speaker now. I speak at churches, speak motivational to sports teams, to companies, and I tell them about all these experiences. And you know, the motto is, you know, really how bad do you want it? Because you got to have a certain mindset going into the ring. You have a winner mentality and a certain mindset, but at the same time blessed with a certain skill set, and that's just hard work. I mean, you got to work your tail off and know the sport and know what you have in yourself to become champion. And with us, look, Montell, you a power puncher? No. Are you a major power puncher? Myself, am I a major power puncher? No. Coming out of amateur, I wasn't pro material. I wasn't pro material. I was. They called me the lanky Olympian. I wasn't a power puncher. Montell, and I won a silver medal. Montell didn't even win a medal. Got robbed. Not being a non-power puncher. He went and built, fighting the best, competing, beating these guys, and a so-called non-power puncher. So what I say to all the guys that's out there that, you know, especially the amateur kids that people don't, you know, put a lot of stock in, my thought is, if you can go 12 rounds, 10, well, matter of fact, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rounds with major goal for those rounds, if I'm throwing more punches than you, I'm in great shape. I'm going to outlast you. I'm going to beat you. I know my craft. Everybody's not born a puncher. But as a non-puncher, you work on your skills. You work on the craft. You work on styles. You learn the game so you can become a champion. You know, and that's the main thing. You know, it's not about, you know, in boxing, well, they got the big power punch. You know, you got a big power shot. Dude can punch. That's great. That's a blessing. You were born with power. But if you don't have the power, you still can become champion and win many fights and dominate guys that do have power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, power can't put butts in the seat. They so-called,
but Whitaker, one of the greatest fighters in history.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, winning put butts in the seat. You keep winning, people will go see you fight. You work on your craft constantly. You work on your game. You work on your game.
Yeah.
Learning boxing. I know this game. I know styles. I love styles. I love matching up styles where they say this guy could beat this guy. No. It's a style that's going to meet everybody in boxing. Right now, Floyd, you know, boxing-wise, he's sharp. But believe me, it's guys out there you avoid or you don't fight in their feet that's going to give you major problems. So,
right. He didn't fight Shane Mosley. He didn't fight Shane Mosley or Cotto when they was at their best.
In their prime. I mean, in their prime. The kid can fight. You don't hate on them. But you don't fight guys, you know, you don't fight guys in their prime and you have a chance to fight them. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look at it like this, man. My thought was that I didn't have the luxury to pick and choose who I wanted to fight. So
we had to fight everybody. We had to fight whoever.
You fight whoever. Hey, if it's blowing up, if it made dollars for us, it made a lot of sense to fight them. A little bit more dollars. We didn't get to pick and choose like I want to fight this guy and I can make a bunch of money fighting nobody. We had to fight somebody to make some money and fight our way to that spot to try to make a living in boxing. Didn't have luxury to have all that, you know, pick and choose stuff. So we had to fight everybody in their prime. Look, when I fought he made more money than me.
Yeah.
I was a higher rated guy. I was so-called, you know, the other people. He made more money than me. I'll fight Vladimir Klitschko both times. He took most of my belts. I was WBO champion, IBF champion. He made more money than me.
Wow. That's not fair.
What am I supposed to?
That's not fair, man.
No, but it's just part of sport. You know, I'm not gonna cry over it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was blessed to be in those situations, and it gives you a chance to pull for upset, but it gives you a chance to make. I made pretty good money fighting them, especially the second time. But he still made more money than me. So I'm not the man. You know, it's a business, man.
I ain't never been a man.
Yeah, it's just a business.
Talking with guys who made huge contributions to the sport, though. You can't deny that. And both of you.
I too, man. You know, we look at it like, man, you want to box. It's something we've been doing our whole life, and you want to make the most out of it. I mean, when I look at, you know, our amateur career, and from the time I got really on the major scene, in 1988, I was at 139, I was rated number 2. And then from then on, I was number 1. I was number 2 once. From 89 to 92, you know, being almost number 1 all those years in the nation. And you see hundreds of guys go by. But probably on, you know, both hands, and maybe all on Montell hands too, how many champions come out of all those guys? They got to experience what we experienced in our professional career. Not many.
Yeah.
All these guys that box, all these guys that we see coming to training camp, coming through, you know, all this talent to get to the level of me and Montell. I mean, look at
the guys like Kelsey Banks, like Ed Hoffman, all these types. Awesome amateur careers that you never heard of them before.
I mean, it's just all these guys. And I take nothing away from them, great fighters, but to get to the level of me and Montell got to, and got to experience, you know, the crowds, the TV, the people, just doing all this stuff, just that experience. It's a great ride. You know, it's a really great ride. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't take it back for nothing. You can give me let me be a CEO of a company, just a normal dude. I take nothing away from that, but I love the ride I went on. It was great.
Yeah.
Great experience.
How about you, Montell? You have any regrets at all about your career or what you did with it?
You know what? I just wish that I had came back sooner. I just think had a kid who hadn't fought in 8 years. I came back in 1991. January 1991, I had my first fight. January 1992, I was number one in the United States of America. I just wish I would have came back like maybe 88, 89, 90. Then they would have took me more serious. I think I was a 5'7" light heavyweight. I just don't think they took me serious, and I really didn't have nobody behind me. So when I parked twisted my and got robbed, they never really made a big deal about it and everything. So that's the only thing I really regret. I mean, just like Chris said, I won't change a thing. I mean, I met people. I've been all over the world. I met people who knew who I was. Denzel Washington, Shaquille O'Neal, O.J. Simpson. They knew who I was. They came and spoke to me. And it's just, it's just something that I never trade. And I love this game, and I wouldn't change nothing, man. It was a hell of a ride.
Now, what's Denzel say to you when he comes up to you?
But the funny thing about it was, I was at a party with my ex-wife, and the actor Leon, who was in the Fire Heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I went up to Leon and just said, "Hey man, much respect, this and that and everything." And I went back over to my ex-wife, and she was like, "Wait, it's sitting to Denzel." I'm like, "What you talking about?" I said, "Denzel's sitting right next to him," and I didn't know it. So I went back over there, and the bodyguard stopped me. Like, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm just saying what's up to Denzel. I know him." He's like, "Nah." Get the hell out of here. You don't know him. Get out of there, beat it. I'm like, "All right." So it was like an hour later. We was walking through, and Denzel, when he got up, and we kind of ran right into each other. He's like, "Oh man, what's up? You Montell Griffin?" And came and shook my hand and hugged me and everything. And I looked at his bodyguard like, "You asshole." And we just all laughed about it. But I was surprised that he knew who I was or that. He's like, "Man, you fought tonight." Matter of fact, me and Chris all fought in that car in Atlantic City on the Shannon Bridge undercard. It was me, Chris, I think Vernon Ford.
Vernon?
No, I think Vernon fought. I fought, you fought. On Shannon Bridge undercard. It was that fight.
Wow, that's a card to see.
And Denzel was like, "Man, you fought tonight. I saw you."
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, and he hugged me and everything. I was like, man, that made my day.
Yeah. That's
But
amazing.
on that undercard, Montell did one of the dirtiest things you can do to your opponent.
You weren't talking to nobody before no fight.
To this day.
No, this guy gonna come ask me, "Can I take a picture with you and me and my father?" I'm like, "Man, no, man, we can fight."
But you remember what you said? He was like this, and then he hung around because he really didn't understand English. And he was like, "No, man." Then he said, "Man, get out my face, man. Just get out my face." And
we get ready to fight.
He dogged him.
Man, I ain't gonna be friendly and then say, "Can I take a picture?"
He don't want to, he get ready to fight you. He don't want to take a picture. I can't imagine myself that maybe he gonna try extra hard to knock you out now.
Man, I know Chris ain't talking. Before a fight, he ain't saying nothing to nobody. They could be best. I seen him and Mike DeMoss in the hotel room 2-3 days before the fight. We shooting dice and everything. The day of the fight, man, don't talk to me. Don't say nothing to me.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's part of the game, man. It ain't nothing personal, but it's a business, man. Let's talk after it's over.
Did you take a
Man, I ain't
picture
taking
after
no
the
pictures
fight?
of you. You know what? He didn't want to. Look, the guy was so busted up. I don't think he wanted. And his face was busted up. It was like he got hit with somebody beat him with a bat. He didn't want to take a picture then.
Maybe he knew that. That's why he wanted to take it before the
Oh
fight.
my goodness. Montell dog is so bad though. Cause he was just standing there next to Montell waiting like, you don't understand what he was truly saying. He like, "Man, get out my face, man. Get out my face."
Man, I ain't taking no picture with you.
Yeah, man. Do you feel you have any residual damage from boxing, Montell, or do you feel totally?
I don't have nothing physically wrong, that, like what Chris is dealing with. Only thing that scared me sometimes, my words don't come out. I know I feel from dementia a little bit.
Yeah.
My words don't come out. I stutter sometimes. I might try to say something that don't come out right. So, yeah, I know it affects me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, I love the game. My last fight was in August of last year, and I went to a fight last week and talked to Bobby Hicks about maybe doing, I'm retiring at the end of this year, no doubt about it, but I wouldn't mind getting one more in.
Mm-hmm.
But if it don't happen, it don't happen. But I wouldn't mind. I mean, it's always going to be in my blood, but I will be just retiring at the end of this year.
Yeah.
It's the same with me, I basically retired. I had never officially said it, but I wish I had the opportunity to fight two guys Montell fought. Roy Jones, Dave Tony.
Yeah.
But I would love to get into a 4-man, 40 and over. Another guy Montell fought. Antonio Tarver, me, Roy Jones, and
James Tony.
James Tony.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted to fight those two, and really kind of envious that Montell was in that division. That made me just think, man, dang, why not move up?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I only got to fight those guys. Montell got a chance to fight some great. And I know at heavyweight, I fought the guys trying to fight the guys that were there. But at light heavyweight, man, just that he got a chance to go against some skillful guys. I mean, I love skill matchups and try to match skills with somebody with that. They say they got skills. Oh, let's put it up. Let's see what you got. Because like at heavyweight, it wasn't like you going against a major skill guy. You worry about that one punch factor. Guys were like, okay, I ain't gonna match you with skill, but if I hang in this fight long enough, I got a chance to crack you. And a lot of. It's like Montell dealing with a lot of height and reach. He ain't gonna get the prop. He's only 5'7", and he's dealing with Tarver taller than me. Tarver like 6'2" and a half. So he's dealing with James is not real tall, but he's taller than Montell. Boy,
Everybody taller than me.
Everybody taller than him. So he's dealing. I'm knowing how he feels now when he fights this guy. It's a different mental game. You got to pick your strategy. You got to do your thing, but you got to do it correct because you can get outboxed from the outside. I'm not a power puncher. You get, out punch. Guys are stronger than you. So, respect. You got to really respect Montell and his skill set just to even compete with those guys at that level. Because when you know how to use your height, reach to your advantage, and then you got power with it, you a dominant, a dangerous combination, in boxing.
Hey, Chris Curley, listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this. We in Barcelona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now look, it was a three. Well, the room had 3 beds in it. So I was light heavyweight. Donnell was heavyweight. So Chris was the smallest. So what Chris had to sleep. He slept in the middle. We made him take a middle bed because he was the smallest one. We was sitting there one day. Chris said, I'm going to beat Mike Tyson. He said, I'm going to be heavyweight champion of the world. And we laughed like, man, get out. He's 165 pounds. He's like, I'm going to beat Mike Tyson. He said, I'm going to be the heavyweight champion of the world. We like, man, get out of here, man, whatever. We laughing. This man won the heavyweight title.
I'm real skinny, too.
This man won the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
After he told us this at 165 pounds.
Hey.
It's a prophet.
2 times.
Yeah.
2 times.
That's right. No.
We laughing. We're like, get out of here.
Yeah. How do you feel when the first time you saw him after this guy who was smaller than you, now he's bigger than you?
Well, when we turned pro, we didn't see as much. We didn't see each other as much. So we ran into each other. We saw him at fights and everything. But what happened was, he did me a favor. I was going to fight. Who was I fighting? I think Tom. I can't remember. I was fighting a southpaw.
Mm-hmm.
Chris was heavyweight champion of the world. No, was he champion?
No, I wasn't champion. It was our first one.
Yeah, you were going to fight Holyfield. You was in Vegas.
You was fighting in Fresno, in that Fresno area when Tim Lewis fought.
Right, yeah, I fought George Jones. That's what I fought.
Yeah, George Jones.
George Jones. And then I sparred Chris. You know, the last time I sparred was a middleweight. I sparred as a heavyweight. And I just tell the difference in that thing. And I remember he faked me out with it. He threw a jab to the head, and you know he knew that, you know, because my head moved, I was gonna try to slip everything. He threw a jab to my head and threw a straight left to my stomach and hit me with a body shot. And I was like, damn, and it hurt me. And I was like, man, I can tell the difference. Like, he a heavyweight for real now.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't worried about his punching power. We was at 165, but he hurt me with a body shot, and I was like, damn, like he heavyweight for real. And he when he signed for the fight Holyfield, I called him and told him, I said, I got to come to that fight. I said, this is my favorite heavyweight. This is my favorite fighter in the 80s and 90s, and one of my closest friends get fighting. Like, I got to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I got to be there to see this. Yeah. And he beat him.
Yep. Bittersweet.
Hey, Monty, they got the sweetest picture of me and you in the ring with our father Vanda, and I don't know if you remember what we said. You like, hey, you the man now. They got to show us.
You the man now. Roll.
But the roll part, they got us both doing that right before the fight starts, before you have to step out of the ring. This time.
You the man now. Roll. Get that water for me. Give me the mix. Give me the mix. Get that water away from me.
Wow, man. So that was a great fight. Fun, great performance from Chris Byrd.
Great time.
So.
Great time, man.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure, guys. I asked you guys for like 15 minutes, and it's like 2 hours.
Hey, we'll do this for hours.
I appreciate it.
Man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again someday.
Yeah.
When you're
Byrd, it was nice hearing from you, boy.
Yeah, Montell, my father, you know, he messed up names. He called him Montell Griff.
Montell Griff. Not Montell Griffin, but Montell Griff. He left the I-N off. It was Montell Griff.
When I called you guys, I thought we were just going to talk about like the Olympic team and maybe some Vernon Forest, but you guys went elsewhere, man. And I appreciate it. It was fun. I know everyone's going to like it. All right, guys. You guys.
All right, man. Love you, man. Love you, man.
I love you too, man. Y'all be cool.
All right, take it easy,
All right,
guys.
man. Take it easy.
All right.
All right, bud.